Hi, I'm Jay Goldman, and you are watching Mr. Mobile on Butterscotch.com. Today we're going to take a look at 3 Google Android applications that come from Google. So you might call them Google Android applications. We're going to take a look at 3 that are actually available on any Android device in the Google Marketplace. So you can grab them if you've got an Android device. If you don't, you can sort of use them in other places in the Google empire, but they're really much better on Android, so I recommend that you get yourself an Android device if you want to play with them. The first up is a very simple application called Translate. Now you can obviously do this on the web at translate.google.com. You can just type in text or point it at a web page, pick a language, and it will translate it for you. What's neat about doing it on this phone is that it actually does text to speech. So there's a little microphone icon in the text field right up here. We just tap on that. My name is Jay, and this is Mr. Mobile. And it goes up to the server, does a translation up there, sends the text back down to the phone, and badly translates it to, my name is Jake, and dismissed. So this is not perfect. But if you say things that are pretty common, particularly addresses it actually does a pretty good job with, it will actually just go and translate that for you directly. Now, there's a whole bunch of languages in here. There are some weird ones that are missing. Somebody asked me to demonstrate translating to Hebrew, and Hebrew doesn't appear to be in here. But you can do lots of things like, for example, English to Spanish, or English to French, or Spanish to French, so you don't have to start with English. And the cool thing about most of those languages is that it will actually read it back out for you. Now, you can obviously imagine the uses of this if you're traveling, you don't know how to say something in the local language, you can do the translation on here and then actually have it read that back out to people. The voice is pretty computerized. I played around with this and a couple of native language speakers in languages I didn't speak, and they had a little bit of trouble understanding it, but on the whole, this is kind of like holding the future in your hand. You can basically say words into it in one language, and it will read them back in another language almost instantaneously. So, the second one we're going to take a look at is called Google Sky Map. I kind of like this one because I've been a big fan of sort of lying back in the field at night and looking up at the stars and picking out the constellations. The problem is I usually have no idea what I'm looking at. Google Sky Map changes that by using a combination of the GPS and directionality of this phone, so it knows which way it's facing, so that it understands exactly what you're looking at. And so what it does is locate you in the world, figure out what you're looking at, and then show you on the screen what the constellations are. So you can kind of move the screen around and you can see exactly what constellations you're pointing the phone at right now. You can turn on and off a bunch of layers if you go into the menu here, so you can toggle night mode, you can jump into the settings and you can sort of turn on, you know, stars, constellations, things I don't know about like Messier objects. You can activate planets, have a horizon line, all that kind of stuff. You can also search, so if you're looking for a particular thing in the sky, you can do a search directly on that. This has got to be a ton of fun if you've got kids and you want to take them out at night and do some star watching or stargazing. Take this with you and you can actually identify the things that they're looking at. So that is Google Sky Map, and again, that is available in the Marketplace store. The last one we're going to take a look at is Google Goggles. Now, Goggles came up with all kinds of jokes around this when this came out, around the name Goggles. Probably my favorite was a Simpsons reference. If you're a Simpsons fan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The way Goggles works is it takes advantage of the camera on the phone to let you take pictures of things, and then it does some very sophisticated analysis on that picture and tells you what it is. So let's say, for example, you were in a foreign city that you didn't know, you were maybe on a trip and you were looking at a building and you wanted to know what it was. The promise of Google Goggles is that you can point your Android phone at it, hit the button, it will analyze that picture and will come back and tell you exactly what building you're looking at. That is pretty awesome, but this works with a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So, for example, if we take a CD, like this CD right here, and I just point the phone at it with Goggles open, and I get a good picture of the cover, it will then do an analysis on it. You can see this kind of blue line that goes across as it's doing kind of a scan of it. It's very sort of futuristic laser scanning kind of thing. And then it goes up to the Google server and it says, what is this picture of? So very good at recognizing products just based on a photograph. Also does a pretty decent job of things that have a barcode on them. So there's a barcode on this box right here. I could do the same thing and take a picture of it. And it would come back and tell me what I'm looking at based on the barcode. And it would actually give me the option to compare prices using Google's price comparison service, so I can see whether the thing I'm holding at a particular store is a good deal or not. So there's lots of things you can take pictures of in Goggles. If you check out Google's website about Goggles, and we'll include a link to that in the show notes on Butterscotch.com, it's got a great little video up there that kind of explains it and tells you some of the things you can take pictures of and some of the things you can't yet take pictures of. This is obviously a work in progress, and they're going to be enhancing the algorithm so that it's better at recognizing lots of different things. So again, that was a trio of Android applications for the Google platform. We took a look at Translate, Sky Map, and Goggles. Thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Mobile. We'll catch you next time.